Welcome to Seeing with Your Soul, a safe and sacred place to be vulnerable, to be transparent, to be authentic. I am your host, Tisha Michelle. From the deep pain and loss of my best friend Gloria, I realized she gave me the greatest gift ever, remembering my purpose in life, which is to help connect you to your authentic self, guide you to remember your purpose, and remind you that your current circumstance doesn't define who you are. Join me as we heal, align, and glow together. Hey guys, welcome back to Seeing with Your Soul. I'm your host, Tisha Michelle. Before we get into today's episode, I have a couple of announcements. So the first one, just want to let you all know that there is still room for my spiritual retreat that I will be hosting May 14th through the 17th of 2020 in Scottsdale, Arizona. If you visit my website, just go to www.hashtagcertified.com and you can get all the details there. The second thing I have for you guys is last November 2018, I had the pleasure of spending 10 days in Egypt and it was amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So many people were like, "Oh my God, did you have fun?" And I was like, "Fun?" I was like, it was a life-changing experience. And what I said one of the days when we were cruising down the Nile River, I said, this is either going to be my only time, coming to Egypt because I had enough and it did enough for me, or I'm going to come back often. I'm so happy to say that I will be going back to Egypt and I'm hosting a trip to Egypt. This one is going to be 7 days though. So it is March 11th through the 17th of 2020, and it is for 8 people. I already, including myself, I already have 3 people that have put deposits down. So there's 5 slots available. I don't even really know how to explain it to you guys, but it's freaking Egypt. It's kicking it in Egypt and it's cruising down the Nile. It's going to visit the pyramids. It's really taking in, like, you hear these things in history and you can Google a lot of things and that's all great, but to actually just be there, to be in that energy, be in that presence, walk amongst the people, ride the camels, like just freaking Egypt. Anyhow, if you want some information and to, get like the pricing and where like the tour is gonna, what you're gonna be visiting and all of that good stuff, email me. Send an email to Tisha at hashtag certified and just put it something in quick, like more details on Egypt, and I will send you the email with that information. So the third thing that I have, I'm sitting here trying to remember what is the third thing that I have for you guys. Like, oh. So I'm going to be launching Spiritual Growth 101 again. This one is going to be January 13th through the 19th, I believe. Yeah, I think it's January 13th and 19th, guys. I don't have any notes. I'm just going off of my head right now, so bear with me. Anyway, so Spiritual Growth 101 is going to be January 13th through the 19th. You can also go to my website, www.hashtagcertified.com, and you can get all the details and you can see how you can enroll and everything that's included, like with that. Okay, so cool. So those announcements are out of the way. Okay, so if you listened to last week's episode, you would have heard me talk about, how I kind of like took a little break, just from like the online presence and stuff, just to kind of get out into like the community and get that one-on-one, like human interaction connection, and also to clear some of the noise and everything out. Part of what I also did was I was like, I want to watch something because I haven't been watching TV, much at all. Because when I do watch TV, like I straight binge, be like every so often, right? So I was like, I want to watch something. There's something I want to watch that's like feel good and that's not going to have me emotionally connected. I don't want to be emotionally connected. I don't have anything right now. I really didn't want to do like the Gaia because I'll watch Gaia and I'll end up going down that rabbit hole and it's like all this spirituality and it's so feeding my soul and so like this curiosity and stuff, but it's like it gets intense and then you just like, you watch something and then you get so much like information, but then you want more and then it leads you to this, leads you to that. Well, I didn't want anything like that either. So no emotional attachment, no going down the rabbit hole, just feel good, something that I can binge. And when I say binge, it'll be like in between. So I'll get all my stuff done and do everything. And now I'll just get into bed like, oh yes, I could watch TV, I could watch a couple of episodes, right? So I was led to watch, and I've only seen one episode of this like before, but I started watching Jane the Virgin. And it's this feel good show. So I started watching it and oh my gosh, like super addicted. And I know I'm mad late because there's like 5 seasons to it, right? And I'm watching this and it's funny. And I'm gonna let you know right now, if you are watching this is definitely gonna be a spoiler alert. So sorry. So I'm watching it and so many different things are happening. Like it's like all over the place, but such a good feel all over the place. And I'm just like having a great time and looking forward to like, oh yeah, wow, I got an hour. I can just sit here and just watch this and do nothing, not on the phone, not talking, just watch this show. So I'm watching it and everything is just great. And then all of a sudden, I don't even know what season this is. I don't know, three between three, I think it's season three, a character dies. And I am bawling my eyes out. He just ups and dies. And I'm literally bawling my eyes out. And I mean, you know that cry where you just like you can't breathe and you're like, my stomach hurts. And as she's crying and falling to the ground, I swear I'm falling to the ground, but I'm already like laying in the bed. And I'm just crying and crying and crying. And I'm like, what the hell just happened? I said I wanted to feel good. Well, I didn't want anything that I was emotionally attached to. I didn't want anything that was going to have me going down the rabbit hole. I just wanted a feel good show that just going to have me laughing and everything is just great. And I'm basically escaping like reality. And then somebody dies. And here I am, emotions. To be honest, it takes me back to getting that information from like my best friend because it was like, where did this shit come from? I didn't even expect it. So I didn't expect for her to like pass it, and I didn't expect this to happen in the show. And me, I would like to relate everything. I relate everything back to my life and to what's going on because there's always a lesson and stuff into there, right? I start thinking and I'm like, wow, I'm like, this is life. This is life. You're just cruising along, I like to say skateboarding through life and just having a good time. And then boom, something hits you and then you're devastated and you don't know what to do. And you just don't know what to do. So it took me to this place again when I'm reflecting back to what happened like with her and like how it just rocked me like to the core. And I'm saying, I'm like, I didn't expect this. I didn't see this coming. Like, what is going on? Like, why would this show do this to me? Like, this doesn't even make any sense. And then as I start to reflect back to different things that happens in the show, even though it's a feel good show, it covers so many different topics and things that happen in just in life. And like one of the other things is going on in the show is like the character, there's a point where she's in love with two men. And just thinking about that of being in love with two different people and then having the judgment of other people in the outside world, but like your feelings are your feelings, and I don't know, I'm just relating it to life and all the different things that happen and happens in life and how it is that we respond and how it is that we react. But there's this thing where we just don't expect certain things to happen. We don't expect this person to die, this person or that person to die, but it's like we know that at some point all of us are going to die. And what does that even mean? That we're going to physically leave this earth. So the other day, or 2 weeks ago, I went to a conversation and a dinner, and it was around death and, life after death and this eternal life and stuff. And I was really interested or intrigued to go and have this conversation and get other people's perspective. So we're reading these passages and it's time for people to speak if they want to like speak. So I shared a little bit about my story and how it was with death. So I wanted to share that with you guys. So I've always had this fear of getting old and dying. And then I opened a home care agency. And well, actually, before I even opened the home care agency, I worked in the field. And I was just like, I'm just around all these old people and sickness and like death, like, I got to get out of this. And I got out of it. I was only doing it part time just to see if I would wanted to go further into nursing. And then I ended up opening my own home care agency. And here I was right back around this thing that I feared, getting old and dying. So, you know how if any of you guys have like been on Facebook and they want you to like you're in a group or something, they like introduce yourself and they'll say, tell us a little bit about yourself and then a fun fact or something weird about you or whatever. And I would always say, I have a fear of getting old and dying and I own a home care. Like it just made no sense to me, at the time. So, I'm around all this old people and death and funerals and stuff, and it's something that just like makes me like cringe because I'm super like afraid of it. There's this fear. And then about 3 years ago, yeah, I want to say it was 3 years ago, I was having surgery. And I've had a couple of surgeries and stuff throughout like my life. I have anesthesia and be put to sleep or whatever. So I'm laying on the table in the room and I got the anesthesia. And if you ever had anesthesia, you're starting to drift and you hear they're talking to you and all that good stuff. And I'm not like super nervous, but at the same time, like there's this fear of like, what if I don't wake up? And then as I'm laying there and like these thoughts are going through my head, I realized where my fear was at. I wasn't afraid to die because I didn't even know what that even meant. Other than I'm just not here. I'm done. That was what my thought, at that time. But the fear was around my children. How are they going to feel? Like, how are they going to feel? Because I'm like, I'm gone. Like, what about them? That heartache, that pain that they're gonna do, like taking care of them. Like, yes, people can take care of them. They'll be taken care of financially. Have life insurance. They have their father, they have family and everything, but like they won't have their mom. And that's what my fear was. That was my fear, was for them. It wasn't even for me. And it hit me, was like, wow, okay. Hmm. It's interesting. So since I've been on this self journey, when I lost my best friend and all these things that I've been awakened to, that fear of death is no longer there. Because for whatever reason, where I was taught, conditioned, this belief or whatever, that I felt like when you die, that's it. There's no more. That's it. It's over. Finished. Done. It's a wrap. And I now know that that's not true. It just means that you physically leave this earth. Like, that's it. But your spirit is still there. Your presence is still there. You can still feel spirit. You can still feel your loved ones, your ancestors. They can still help and they can still guide you. They're just not physically here. It's just not physically here. So since I've been on this journey, my kids are on the journey with me as well. So they hear me talk about this all the time. They understand, how the manifesting and how they're putting things out into the universe and how it's coming to them, and how the opportunities, the different things that's magical to them, because they each have their own thing that's happened to them for them to be a believer and to know that there is more out here than just this physical world. And I love that, because that is what has been taking the fear away from me of dying, because I know that they understand that that's not the end. I pass away, I'm going to be my kids' spirit guides. They're going to have other guides that's going to help them, but best believe I'm going to be there ready to help them along the way, everything possible that I can do, from that side, that realm, or whatever. I'm going to be their damn spirit guide. I just won't be here physically, but they will know and they will feel my presence and know that I'm here. So them understanding that. And again, it wasn't just from of course it's from listening to me and hearing me say things, and hearing just different things that's been happening, like with me, but also been happening for them, and them applying it and them understanding, like, wow, there is more to life than just this physical realm. And it has since made me feel good and okay with dying, leaving from this physical world, just like the physical shell. So when I was at that talk, one of the ladies, she broke it. She just gave a really good example, and I really liked it. And I hope I don't mess it up. But she was explaining about like death and this realm and this thing that where we're at right now, and that it just means that we're just no longer here in this physical world. But again, like I said, we still live on the spirit world. She said, just like when you're being born, she was like, you're not here. You're not out here. She's like, you're in your mom's belly. Like, you're there. You're developing yourself. You're in another realm. You're basically in another realm. You have eyes and you have hands and you have feet. You have all these things, but you're not using them. Like, what do you need them for? But yet you're still there. And then you are born here, which is just transferring you into another realm, which is now here, this physical realm. I mean, of course, she explained it so much better than I just did, but I thought it was so amazing because it's so true. And that's what it is. So when we die, it's just a rebirth into another realm. Like, it's not the end of all. And even just hearing that, it's like, it's so true, because as a baby, we are in our mom's tummy, and we do have our hands, we do have our eyes, we do have our feet. We're not doing anything with them. And then we're born here, then we're birthed, right? And I don't know if any of you guys have ever, especially those who are really on like your spiritual journey and stuff, you may have done like tarot or oracle, or have had a reading or something, and or a lot of energy been around like this rebirth, like this rebirth. Like, there's like, my son named one of his albums Death of the Old Me, and I've experienced that too. So even though I'm physically here, but there's so much of me has died and rebirthed and formed into something else. And it's the same thing when we leave this physical earth. We're rebirthed and we go to another realm, which there's like the spirit. So it was just really just interesting, just kind of like tying everything together, looking back at like this fear, getting old and like dying, and then watching Jane the Virgin and it just being such a feel good show, and everything is just so great, and then boom, this happens. So here it is, I'm watching the show and this character dies, and I'm bawling my eyes out, like freaking can't breathe thing. And it's on a freaking show because, your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between real and imaginative. And all these feelings and these emotions just like come up. And like I'm aching and my heart is hurting for the character because she lost her husband. And again, it takes me back to what my fear was. My fear was for my children. So I'm like, you know what? I feel like there's this responsibility for me to talk to people and to teach people and to help them understand that when someone dies, that's not it. It's not over. They're just going to another realm and they're just physically not here because that's what it was. I was aching for her because of how she was going to feel. So now I believe like the more you understand that when someone dies, it's not completely over, doesn't mean that you're not going to grieve. But I can promise it'll help you. It'll bring comfort to you to know that you're not alone, to know that they are still there. They can still help you. They can still guide you. They can still provide you with that comfort. This is where you're missing them so much and then you see something or you sense something that just comforts you and gives you this sense of like, wow, such and such would have done or whatever the case, but it gives you that level of like comfort, comfort. And just to know that it's not over. And that's a huge thing. Part of what I was telling you guys that I was also feared was getting old. And I was just like, I don't want to get old. I don't want to get old. I don't want to get old. And now I embrace it so much. And now I truly believe and understand that getting old is a privilege. And again, you're going to always hear me talk about it. It goes back to losing my friend, being 39 and going to sleep and not waking up. I mean, she was 39. And when I think about it, like, oh my gosh, like, I wish we could grow old together. And not many people, not everyone is privileged enough to even grow old. So why am I fearing something that is a privilege that some people don't get to have? And again, it goes back to the fact of this belief for me was that you get old, you get sick, and you die. And that's what kind of threw me with losing like my best friend because in my mind, you live your life, you get old, then you get sick, and then you die. So when I look at my best friend, it was like, wait a minute, she's only 39, she didn't get sick, and she died. So can you understand how that really rocked my whole world? Because my belief and my thought was living your life, you get old, and you die. So it's kind of like when we have plans, right? We have a set plan. Oh, it's going to happen like this, and this. And then when it doesn't happen like this, you're all thrown off and you're devastated and you have no idea what the hell to do. That's like how it was for me. I had this idea in my head for all these years. And then when that idea was taken away, it was like, what the hell? And to me, that's grief, right? Having the idea of something and then being shown that that's not it. Yeah, then you start that grieving process. And again, this goes into this self reflection and this self discovery journey that I've been on is understanding the world, understanding life, understanding my thoughts, and having to reprogram this belief system because my whole life I lived in fear, this fear of getting old. And when you start to live in these fears, you stray away from the present moment, right? Because if you're always so worried and so afraid about something, how are you even being present? How are you even being present? So taking all these different things and being able to watch this show that has you laughing and stuff, but to be able to relate it back to life, into your life, and to look at the lessons and look at the teachings and look at the blessings and stuff is amazing. So for any of you guys that are listening, if you have this fear of getting old, I just want you to just know that getting old or older or whatever, it's honestly it's a privilege. Embrace it. Embrace it. Don't focus on oh my gosh, I have to get old, I'm getting older, or I'm getting gray hair, and embrace that shit. Rock that shit. Rock your salt and pepper look. I did always say that when my hair starts growing, getting like gray and stuff, I'm gonna rock the salt and pepper look. I don't know if I'm gonna still do that, like or not, but I don't know. But anyway, but rock that salt and pepper look. Embrace that you're aging and you're getting older. Like it's a privilege, which means getting older means you're still here, which means you're being afforded another day to connect to your authentic self, another day to learn your truth, to speak your truth, another day to walk in your purpose, another day to be of service to other people. another day to be of service to yourself. Like every single day is just a pure blessing. So it doesn't matter if you're 20 years old, you're 30 years old, you're 45, you're 50, you're 60, you're 80 years old. Every single day that you are here is a blessing. So focus on that present and actually live in that moment and release any of those fears that you have. If you have a fear of dying, really get to the root of where is that fear stemming from. Is it because you do believe and you've been taught that once you die, like that's it? If that's the case, like I urge you to revisit that. You don't have to just believe me when I say this, but really just do some research, just question things, go within, meditate, question. Once we physically leave this world, is that it? What does death actually really mean to me? Really get clear and question and go through. Like with me, I'm laying on the table having this anesthesia, and what comes to me, as I'm having these thoughts, is that I'm not afraid. Like for me, I'm afraid for my children because I don't want my children to hurt. And now it goes to now the education part and them experiencing life themselves. So if that's like for you, it's the same thing. Experience life by being present, by being present. If you have someone that passed away, talk to them. You're talking into the air in your head, talk to them. Ask them to send you a sign. Ask them to send you a sign and wait for that sign. You'll get it. You can even say something like, I don't know, make up something like a white cat. I don't know. You can just say something like, talk to your loved one, just say, is there really more? Is there really more to after a person or after you physically leave this earth? Like, is there more? You're connected to your mom or your dad or your grandmother or your husband, someone that left this physical earth. Connect to them and ask them to send you a sign to say, show me a white cat. You don't have to do something that's common, because if you don't want to be like, oh, that's just a coincidence, which for me, I don't believe there's no such thing as a coincidence. But just connect and just ask so you can experience it yourself. You can experience it yourself. Like I'll say things if I'm having going for a walk and I'm like trying to figure something out and I'm saying like, is doing such and such for my highest good? If so, show me an owl. And I remember that day clearly. I was walking my neighborhood and I said, show me an owl. And as I was walking, like not even shortly after I said that, something made my head turn to the left and there was this like camper and it said prowler. The only thing I seen was the O-W and the L, and I just started laughing. So just because I said show me an owl didn't mean that there was going to be this huge owl just going to come and just swoop past me. That'd be freaky, but it was still the representation of the owl. So you want to experience this yourself. So just try it. Just talk to your loved one. Ask them to send you a sign so you can be a believer. You can have that experience and you can understand that there is more life after the death, after the physical. They're still here. We're still here. And I promise you guys, it provides you so much comfort and it helps you get through those days. Do you still grieve? Do you still miss them? Absolutely. Do I still have these breakdowns where, like, missing, like, my best friend? I want to pick up the phone and call her. I want to forward her a text and all, but I'm not able to do that. So I do miss her, but I also understand that she is still here and she's still here for me when I need her. She helps guide me through certain situations. She helps my children, and two of them in particular have so many of their own personal stories that they can share with where they know that she's there. Most recently, I know she just helped my daughter who and her friends who was in a car accident. That's a whole other story. But I mean, all you could just sit there and say is like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Through the grace of God and her spirit guides and angels and our loved ones, I know they were all there with that accident and that with her. And that's one of the things that my daughter like said was that, wow, like, yeah, never ever doubt that there's not this spiritual realm and our angels and our guides and God, like that's not real, because that's who helped them walk away from that accident and the way that it happened. Like you raised to the point where you just can't like explain it. So yeah, I don't know. This has kind of just been like weighing like on me when it just comes to like death. And I know that a lot of people do fear this and do have this same belief that I had. That's it. It's done. When you're gone, you're gone. Can't talk to the dead. That's that devil stuff and all those things that just once again keeps you trapped in fear. Again, I want each and every one of you guys that are listening to just to experience it for yourself. You don't have to listen to me. Just go within, talk, experience it yourself so you can understand that it's not talking. It's not some devilish thing. And I used to hear things like, oh, you can't talk to your dead loved ones because that's just the devil playing a trick on you, and just had me like my whole life just like in this fear. And the thing is because I bought into what people said and I never experienced it myself. So this is why I say to you guys, you don't even have to listen to me. I mean, like, I'll just be planting the seed, but experience it for yourself. And that's what I'm happy that my children haven't been able to experience it for themselves. So they believe because they had that experience. And that brings so much comfort to me to know that, yes, they are going to miss me when I'm physically not here and they are going to grieve, but they are going to be okay. They are going to be okay. Yeah. So again, I just wanted to just talk to you guys like about that and hope that I could provide some type of comfort and understanding for you guys. It's just embrace us getting older or whatever. Embrace that. Be present, be in the moment, understanding that if you lose a loved one, it is gonna hurt. Of course it's gonna hurt. But just understand that that's not it, that there's more. And I can tell you right now, I so much rather have my loved ones and my spirit guides and stuff helping me out from that end because they can do way more for me and guide me way more than any human or anybody like on here because for some reason we put all these limits and stuff on ourselves. But things and the doors and opportunities and the blessings and stepping out on faith that has like helped me, especially throughout my whole life, but like especially these past 2 years, and just knowing that this didn't come from the neighbor or the person like that or whatever, but just these things that just happen. That's just, I'll just be honest with you, just fucking magic, pure magical things that just happen. It's just like nothing is there and boom, it's like here, even though I had all these limits that I put on myself and the world and everybody else put these limits and stuff. But my angels, my spirit guides, God was like, please, we limitless beings. Let's make this happen. And it's like, holy shit, that type of thing. And I want each and every one of you guys to experience that. And I can tell you right now, you have experienced it. It's just that there's so many layers and so much stuff that's like on you that you don't even really realize it. You don't even really realize it. Yeah, I love you guys' feedback and what is your thought on death and dying and getting old. And if I can answer any questions like for you, you can follow me on Instagram if you wanna. It's it is Tisha. You can send me an email, Tisha at #certified.com. So you can send me you can go to my website, #certified.com, and you can click like the contact from there too. And just send me your questions and I'll be so happy to answer anything and help guide you and teach you and like all of that good stuff. So that's what I got for you guys today. If even though I kind of told some of it with Jane the Virgin, if you haven't, well, I didn't tell you who died or anything like that, but it's a really feel good show and it covers a lot of different things in it. And it really blew my mind when they started talking about like tarot and oracle and someone's actually like doing cards and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, this is why I love this show. I want you guys to check it out. Like, check it out. It's just, I don't know, it's just a feel good show. And then it has emotional attachments in there, but you know what? It's life. It's a part of life, and we get through life, right? We get through life. So yeah, so check it out, Jane the Virgin. Again, follow me on Instagram or send me an email, and I'll be happy to answer any questions, share like my experience with, losing loved ones and even just connecting with like spirit guides and ancestors and angels and understanding this level of that there is more to life than this physical realm. And so I'd be so happy to share my experience and answer any questions that any of you guys have. So until next time, bye guys. Thanks for tuning in to #certified. If anything resonated with you, I would love to continue the conversation. You can follow me on Instagram at @itistisha. And if you want to be a part of the #certified tribe, you can join my Facebook group by going to the search tab and putting in #certified. My website is conversationswithtisha.com. As always, have a great one on purpose. Love you.